Hello everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's MTPredictor video, I'd like to look at how we can use the tools in our MTPredictor software to anticipate in advance or project where markets may make reversals in the future. In other words, how to anticipate in advance. With this, I'll be using an example from our customers only training webinar yesterday. But as usual, we have to start with our risk disclaimer and remind you that all examples in these videos should be considered as hypothetical. No trades are actually taken, they're just shown for illustration and training purposes only. Remind you there's a risk of loss in trading and investing. We will be looking at some losing trades in today's video, and as such, doesn't matter what trading approach you take, there always will be losing trades. Therefore, it's important to understand that losses can and will and do happen, no matter what trading approach you take. Right, just bear with me for a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, just going to get the risk disclaimer down. Start off by playing a bit of our training webinar from yesterday to show you how we were projecting stuff in advance. So just going to play this and then we'll have a look at what the market unfolded. So this was actually what we were doing at the time in yesterday's training webinar. Out of interest here,
as the ES was coming down, I like to use the trading mode in this. I think it just shows things a lot better. Here was our resistance just after open. Where's the first area of support where you think support might come in? Well, this is the last swing, okay? This is the last swing into that high. There's the high. This is the last swing into the high. Right mouse click over this bottom here. That would be an area of potential support. You may not want to look to do a trade off it because it's not a higher time frame support, but on the time frame you're looking at, there may well be an area of where support comes in at this level. Let's turn trading mode off, and that's exactly what it did. You'll see this time and time again, is that's your higher time frame resistance. Bang, it comes down into here. This is where the initial move is basically petered out, but it's petered out right at the level you anticipate. It's amazing how many times you have this on your chart in advance. It now looks like we should be doing, this may be an ABC correction here. How can you then anticipate an area of where you might like a wave C ending? Well, this is where we use our WPTs. This is probably slightly advanced stuff here, but what you can do now is go to WPT, WPT up, we're looking for a wave C, so you click start of wave A, the end of wave A, or the start of wave B, the end of wave B, and then suddenly you've got these levels on the chart where you think, well, actually, this could be an area of where if the market got to this level, this would be the perfect area for an ABC correction to unfold, to then make a sell setup, to then potentially come all the way back down to here. Do you see that? Let's look at the bigger swing on here and say, right, actually, our WPT up, wave 2 or B, off this first swing down. This will be the area for potential wave 2. So can you see what I'm doing here? I'm now working totally and utterly in advance of the market. This is what we're trying to do with MTPredictor. It's not just looking at your scanner and saying as soon as a setup unfolds, you then react to it. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to anticipate areas in advance. We're not trying to tell the market that basically this is where it's going to go because it can turn into random. But what we're saying is like fishing. You're putting your fishing rod out. So you're saying if the market now makes an A, B, C correction up into this level, you've got the level on your chart here ready. If it makes that, I'll then be very wary for a potential sell setup. So do you see that? So hopefully this has been a perfect example that's unfolding live at the moment. Oh, Mark, I see what you mean about the Elliott wave trends, right? If you are good at Elliott waves, can you see how I've used the Elliott wave knowledge to potentially set up a potential trade? I'm saying potential a few times there because the market could then reverse straight back down again. And it's like fishing. You put your rod out there, you put your bait on it, the fish swims straight by, you've missed it, you wait till the next time. But this is what I'm talking about, is how to be ready before the market get there. We're not talking about just reacting in a scanner. We're looking to say, right, if we now go up into this level, is then in a potential wave 2 or B. Here's your higher time frame resistance. Here's your higher time frame support. If it gets to this level, that would be a lovely place for a an ABC correction, it would be a TS3, TS4, or a W3 wave 3 trade setup for then move down to that level. And you've done that all in advance before the market even gets there. There you go, Mark. And if you get up to that level, you can then use the WPTs to then project in advance if you want. You can then say, once the wave C is in, you can then project down your wave 3 to get an idea of where the wave 3 support or where the wave 3 decline would end. So, you know, they're all there. In NinjaTrader, it's exactly the same. If I go to NinjaTrader, that was the ES, wasn't it? So we're looking at the ES. Oh, I haven't connected the data feed, but it's exactly the same in that you can then either go to your MTP toolbar up here and then do your manual WPTs. You see there they are there. Or you can right mouse click, do the manual WPTs of NinjaTrader. So they're exactly the same in NinjaTrader as they are in our standalone version. So they're there as well.
Right, so as you saw, that's what I was calling in our MTPredictor training webinar yesterday with live market data basically before the market got there. So this is what actually happened after the webinar. So the market, this is what we had on our charts. We had our higher time frame resistance. Remember, that would have been on the chart in advance. So before the market got there, you'd have been anticipating that as the higher time frame resistance. The market came down into your minor support. Again, as you showed in the video, that would have been there in advance before the market even got there. We're now anticipating an ABC correction. It did come into a potential wave B low here in the video, but it did actually move slightly lower. So I'm going to now recreate the analysis from this place. So as we did in the video, I'm going to do a wave C up. So that gives you an area of where there could be a wave C end. And I'm also going to put in the larger degree wave 2 or B area as well, just as we had in the video. So this is what we had in the video. So we were anticipating that there may well be an ABC correction, or if there was an ABC correction up into this level, it could be a good area to then have a potential short trade down into this support zone. So this is the whole point of MTPredictor. In other words, we are looking to use the tools and the software to be able to anticipate in advance potential areas where you could get reversals. We're not reacting to setups in scanners, we're anticipating in advance. The markets don't always work out nicely because half the time we understand that markets are random and the market's pattern is basically not in a predictable area, but half the time the market does make clear, clean patterns. So let's move our training mode and just move forward and see what happens. We go forward, we then have a TS3 sell set up there. This is a little bit early because it hasn't quite got into this wave 2 or B. Do you see that? So this setup, even though it would be a valid setup because we're on our MTP trend is red, it was a little bit early because we weren't at this level. That's why it was only a TS3 setup and not a wave 3 or W3 trade setup. If you had have taken this, there would have been your position sizing to keep your initial risk small and under control. If you had have taken it, you'd have been taken in for a short trade, and then it would have actually been stopped out. So that would have actually been a losing trade. So let's case a worst case scenario, that would be a -1R loss. Remember at the start of the video I said losses can and will and do unfold, but the trick is keeping them small. Let's clear it all off. Let's go forward. Therefore we get another trade setup, a W3 trade setup. Let's put some of this analysis back on again. There you go. Remember we were looking to be into our wave 2 or B area, and now we're at this area. Do you see that? Now we're at this area here. So this would be a very good trade setup to take. So we right mouse click, do analysis. This time the position sizing would be allowing us to have 2 contracts, and this time our target would be our wave 3 or typical wave 3, which also fell in at the higher time zone support where there would be a potential profit, but the potential profit would be much larger than the initial risk, and that's the kind of trade setups we're looking to take. Let's move forward. This would have taken you into a short trade and then have actually stopped you out. Again, losses can and will and do unfold. I cannot stress this enough. No matter what trading approach you take, there always will be losing trades, and this is the bit that most amateur traders struggle with, is you could have had 2 potential losing trades here, or maybe 1 potential losing trade if you'd waited till you got up into this wave 2 or B, but nevertheless you'd had a losing trade. Let's now clear everything off and let's move forward again, and suddenly you had a W3, another W3 trade set up. Again, this would have been still a good trade to take, because still we're in this area here. We're in this wave 2 or BWPT. And if I put the Elliott waves on, you can see this is reversing in and around this typical wave CWBT. This was the level we had in our video. So this is what we're anticipating in our video way back when, and in fact a lot earlier. So we're anticipating that this was the kind of pattern we were looking for. We were anticipating that in advance. So let's now clear everything off. Let's place our analysis on here by right mouse click, do analysis. Again, our position sizing is taken care of here by keeping our initial risk small under control. That would be our target at the typical wave 3 WPT, because this is what we're looking for, a potential wave 3 swing down. And as you can see, the potential profit would be 8.5 times greater than the initial risk. This time the market took you in and started to decline. If I turn training mode off now, let's see what the market did. And the market did indeed do exactly what we anticipate, where basically it came in here at our W3 wave 3 trade setup. It then declined down. It declined down into our larger degree support zone, where our typical wave 3 WPT target was projected as well, for a profit of approximately 8.5 times the initial risk. If you'd been a bit more of an aggressive trader, you'd have looked at our MTP strength band in our MTP trend, and once the market hit that level, you'd have seen that it was what we deem as strong. In other words, beyond the strength band. You'd have then used the ATR stop to trail, and that would have meant you'd have stayed in till close, where the potential profit would have been, well, just over 16.5 times the initial risk. So in other words, a profit that's much, much larger than the losses earlier. But even if you'd come out at this trade setup here, let's just take training mode patch back to there and just say, well, if you'd come out at that level there, still it would have been a profit that's 8.5 times greater than the initial risk. And that's what we're looking to do with MTPredictor, have trades that are large in relation to the losses. Losses can and will and do unfold, but the trick is keeping those losses small and have profits that are large in relation to the losses. But the whole point of this video is to show how we can use the tools in the software to anticipate in advance. And this is why I did the clip at the start, to show you that even before the market got there, we're actually anticipating in a live training webinar with MTPredictor customers the area that they should be ready for a potential sell setup before the market even got there. So this is what you can do, is you can look to see when the market pattern is clear, i.e. reversing at higher time frame resistance. It went down into our initial DP support there, absolutely perfectly where it reversed. Again, that would have been on the chart in advance. We were then anticipating an ABC correction, which is exactly what unfolded into our W3 or wave 3 trade setup, and there you had the decline coming down for a profit of approximately 8.5 times initial risk. Or maybe if you were a bit more aggressive, you could have run that a bit further down. But either way, it showed you that you're anticipating in advance, and as you can see, that's exactly what the market did, making a W3 or wave 3 trade setup there to have you in a potential short trade to take advantage as the ES declined a bit later in the day. So a great example of using the tools in MTPredictor to anticipate in advance areas where markets are making a reversal, and then to take advantage as that reversal unfolds.